you. Today on ESPN.com, our friend here, Bill Barnwell, wrote an article identifying the biggest remaining holes on the top contending teams. And just so not to be too negative, Bill provided a solution for each one of them. So, Bill, take us through some of the notable situations, starting with the Detroit Lions.
Yes, Detroit Lions need a pass rusher, Dan. They have Aiden Hutchinson, but last year when they rushed 4 or less, they were 24th in the NFL in quick pressure rate, and they've lost Al-Qadim Muhammad to the Bucs in free agency. So you're thinking about a Joey Bosa potentially here, maybe a Jadeveon Clowney who had 8.5 sacks for the Cowboys a year ago. Get that veteran pass rusher to add to the mix. Take some of the pressure off of Aiden Hutchinson up front for Detroit. The Philadelphia Eagles are in need of a safety after Reed Blankenship left in free agency. Vic Fangio defenses, they always need to have good safety to disguise their coverages, change pre and post snap, and they have Andrew Nakuba, second-round pick from a year ago, who was pretty good before he got hurt. I think that's where the Eagles are going to go again to get a partner for him, have a lot of money to spend elsewhere. You would figure draft safety probably day 2 of the draft for them in Philadelphia, and then go to Washington in the same division. Maybe another wide receiver for Jaden Daniels. Talk about the Navy being involved in some other markets, but the obvious play here to me is Brandon Aiyuk. Really good in 2023, tears his ACL in 24, appeared to be a dead set on annoying the Niners in 25. That's going to end this offseason. They might trade him, try to find a trading spot, but Aiyuk is a really useful player. Adam Peters was there in San Francisco when they drafted him. Makes sense for that reunion there between those two parties. Try to get Aiyuk's value back up before free agency in 2027.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Aiyuk wanting to reunite with Jaden Daniels, who he played with in college, so maybe that does happen. Mina, Commanders picking 7th in the draft next month. They have a lot of needs on their roster. Where do you think they should go with that pick?
Yeah, they do have needs, and I think what's tricky is they have needs at high-value positions. Wide receiver, Bill's absolutely right, but edge also, and corner. I mean, those are some pretty expensive positions. I do think where they're picking in the draft, though, they'll have some really interesting options. And what I'll say is this: if one of the 3 top pass rushers are available to them, speaking about David Bailey, Arvell Reese, and Reuben Bain Jr., I would just run up and make the pick, put him opposite Odafe Owe, who he signed this offseason. That should not be prohibitive from them grabbing one of those pass rushers, because I do think there is a fall off at that position after the top 3. But if they're not available, then things get a little bit hairy. Maybe you go wide receiver or corner, but that would be my preference, to take a pass rusher at 7.
All right, Bill, we have one more contender hole to fill. What did you identify as the big hole to fill for the Super Bowl champion Seahawks?
It's running back, because the Super Bowl MVP is now in Kansas City. Kenneth Walker, of course, leaves this offseason. Zach Charbonnet coming off of a torn ACL. They need a veteran early on who can be the early down back and then maybe cede some work to Charbonnet when he returns. Brian Robinson just seems like such a logical fit here for me. He's shouldered a workload before in Washington. Didn't fumble last year, which I think really was a negative for him earlier in his career. 54% success rate as a runner in San Francisco. Not going to be a great receiver, but neither was Kenneth Walker. Can he be that early down between the tackles back to take some of the load off of Sam Darnold? That's something that could be a big plus for Seattle as they try to build that run game without Kenneth Walker.
Kids, try to find a passion that is 1/10 as fulfilling as John Schneider finds drafting a running back in the 2nd round. It's happening again this year. I look at Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame. I look at Mike Washington out of Arkansas as 2 guys who are going to be 2nd-round values. We know what's coming, but I'm looking at the Seahawks roster. I'm a little concerned about some of the snap counts going away. Kobe Bryant, the leading snap guy on the defense, is gone. Reek Woolen, who was up and down, still was 3rd in snaps. So they're going to have to promote from within, nail this draft a little bit. They obviously did it last year. They've got some really, really good young players. Ray Zabel, Nick Emanwari, guys who changed the entire franchise. They have to do it again, because in that division, there's a case to be made. They can be the 3rd best team in the conference and be the 3rd best team in the division because of how stacked it is.
The thing about John Schneider and his documented affinity for running backs there, Kevin, you're absolutely right, is because he's drafted so well the last few years, the roster is in position for him to take one. So he can have a running back. You know, it's a little treat. You can take a running back in the 2nd round. No, it is something something that has given me a lot of angst in the past, but I do, while Kevin, you make good points about safety, and I think guard is in need too. There's some outgoing talent. I do think they are well positioned to grab one in the mid rounds of this draft, and we'll see. We'll see if he continues the trend.
We'll see. Kens Walker and Zach Charbonnet, both second-round picks. Charbonnet will be coming off an injury. They do need to beef up that room. Coming up on NFL, time now to read and react. Starting in Carolina, one of the Panthers' big free agent signings, linebacker Devin Lloyd, met with the media there in Charlotte earlier today.
You know, there's a lot to be attracted to when it comes to the team, and ultimately that's why I ended up signing here. I think there's a lot of great pieces on defense, for one, and obviously being, you know, a defender, you know, that was one thing that I was looking for. I mean, you got a number of players, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, obviously two most notable, but, you know, Trayvon. I mean, there's guys all over the defense that make plays, and, you know, I just want to come in and be a part of that playmaking unit and help elevate it the most I can.
Nina, what do you think so far of the Panthers offseason?
I share a lot of Devin Lloyd's sentiments. I do think they have a lot of nice pieces. And his mention of playmaking is really what got me thinking, because that's a big part of why he was able to get this contract. He was an interception machine, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that Carolina upgraded its pass rush, adding Jalen Phillips now next to Derek Brown, makes me like the Devin Lloyd signing more, because it makes it more likely he's going to get his hands on the football if they're able to pressure the quarterback. So in total, I think they now have stars at all three levels, and I think the picture is coming together really nicely.
Panthers building, of course, off of a division title there in the NFC South. Off to Happy Valley now, where Penn State held its pro day on Wednesday. Quarterback Drew Aller explained what he was hoping to showcase to the NFL scouts.
My game plan was just to come out here and just show teams what I can do from a film standpoint. Really, it was just to kind of showcase a lot of different things that I either put on tape or at the next level that you see a lot on Sundays. So a lot of my stuff wanted to be like play action stuff from under center and kind of just go through different layering the ball a little bit and driving the ball at the same time. So I feel really good about everything.
Kevin, if you were an NFL team, would you be taking a look at Drew Aller in the draft?
Ready for this take?
Yes.
Maybe.
Ooh,
yeah,
red
Scorcher, maybe. Big arm, NFL frame. He did a lot of good things at Penn State, but he was banged up. He made a lot of weird, risky decisions, and he didn't make a lot of NFL throws, okay? He didn't pull the trigger when he needed to on guys who I saw a scouting report saying that when he would be NFL open, right? He doesn't throw guys open in the way that the guys want to see. So Mel Kiper has him fourth behind, obviously, Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, Carson Beck. That's about right. He's a mid-round guy. Someone's going to fall in love with him because of the arm strength, because of the frame. I think he can be okay, and I think in a good system he can develop and play in a few years. He is not a day one guy, and he's not a sleeper. You know, I don't think he's going to have a meaningful NFL starting career.
So hard maybe.
Hard maybe.
Absolutely.
You heard it here first.
To Minnesota, where recently retired wide receiver Adam Thielen met with the media today, talk about closing out his career with the Vikings.
All the players I played with, the relationships, the time that we spent together, and the relationships that we built, there's nothing better. And it's the thing I'm going to miss the most, is just being in that locker room, building relationship with guys that you just never knew that you would come across, and build these strong relationships. And the impact that these guys have made on me has really changed my life, to be honest. So very thankful for all the players.
Bill, kind of an extraordinary career for Thielen, given where he came from. What do you make of that career when you look back on it?
Yeah, I mean, fourth in NFL history in receiving yards amongst undrafted free agents, and an heralded guy, got better year after year, you know, really forced his way into the lineup and then proved he belonged. And also, obviously, most of his career taking place in Minnesota with the Vikings. Always cool to see a local boy done well. Mm-hmm. Thielen grew up in Minnesota, played college football, I believe, at Minnesota State, was in that vicinity for a long time. You don't always see that. Nice. And you see with, like, LA, like, you know, always hear about it for LA, a couple other places where a lot of players are from. Not a ton of players from the Minnesota area, so exciting to see Thielen play well in Minnesota and do so for the Vikings for so long.
Congratulations to Adam Thielen on his NFL career. career. One more stop in Las Vegas, where Maxx Crosby still lives. Crosby spoke on his podcast this week for the first time since the Baltimore Ravens backed out of the trade that would have sent him to Baltimore.
I didn't get to see the GM at all. I thought I was going to see him when I first got